Compared to a pretty lackluster 2016, 2017 felt like an adrenaline shot for games. I mean, sure, we had our certain situations that got a bit out of hand, and of course there were some duds, but overall, games were pretty damn good this year. Enough so that I managed to play quite a lot of them, and I don't generally play a lot of new games each year. But this year I actually found myself playing quite a lot of them, enough that I can make a top 5 list anyway. And I know I shouldn't have to make this disclaimer, but these are my top 5 favorite games, not the top 5 best games, which means you will agree with some and you will disagree with others. There are plenty of games that came out this year that are objectively probably better than some of the games on this list, but you know what? I'm doing things my way, so yeah. Let's go! When it comes time to make a top 5 games of the year list, you're always going back and forth between judging a game objectively or judging it by how much you enjoyed it personally regardless of flaws. I tend to lean more toward the latter in this case, as it feels more honest and true to myself. It gives you, the audience, an accurate portrayal of my tastes, and thus we come to an understanding about why I ranked things the way I did. I mean, sure, I could put Fire Emblem Echoes here. It was a great game with the best Fire Emblem story since Path of Radiance, and tons of memorable characters, and a different take on Fire Emblem than the West is used to. Or I could put the mindless beat-em-up spin-off I played for over 100 hours.
Psych!
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time convincing you of this one. I'm not gonna go too deep into the actual merits of Fire Emblem Warriors, as I've already done so in several other places across the interwebs. Now here, I'm gonna just try and justify why this silly little beat-em-up game is sitting here instead of several games that are objectively better in many ways. Well, A, I've not played Nier Automata or Persona 5 as of the time of this writing, and B, I'd say it's just a matter of pure enjoyment from the fact that I'm playing a game that I've wanted to play for as long as I've known what Fire Emblem is. I don't know, I guess it's just that pure wish fulfillment in the flashy combat and the character that I already love and enjoy that keeps me coming back. Maybe it's not what personally you wanted or preferred, and honestly, if you feel insulted that this wasn't the game you had in your head, I'm not gonna say that you're wrong and you have every right to be disappointed. Hell, I'm still disappointed that my favorite Tellius characters couldn't get in. But honestly, I'm kind of in love with what we got anyway, and really that's all that matters to me. I keep coming back to it, I keep trying to S-rank every level, and it's really satisfying every time. Sure, it's a little mindless, but you know what? Sometimes you need something mindless to enjoy yourself. I get the feeling I didn't really convince anyone, did I? Well, this list is off to a good start. If you told me at any point in the last decade that one of my favorite games of the year would be a visual novel, I'd have told you right off the bat that that's a wild prediction. Lo and behold, Doki Doki Literature Club comes in to prove me completely wrong. I mean, what a nice change of pace this game was for me. With its cute aesthetic, lovable characters, clever writing, and everything. God, I just want to talk about everything. In fact, you know what? You could skip it if you haven't played it yet, and just go play it. Okay, in all seriousness, if you have heard of this game by now, you probably already know that it's quite literally not what it seems. That psychological horror tag isn't kidding, and neither are those several trigger warnings. Please take them very seriously before playing. It's gonna be a trip. I can't really say more than that at this point, so all I'm gonna say is just play this game. It's free, so, you know, you won't be disappointed. Oh wow, I'm so surprised. No one could ever predict. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Super Mario Odyssey is really freaking good to the surprise of absolutely no one. However, I had an interesting experience with the game. I first played this game while I was on vacation visiting my brother in Florida, so I primarily played it handheld in short bursts for the most part. I kind of breezed through the main campaign and was left, well, a tiny bit underwhelmed. I don't know, something at the time just wasn't working for me. The staggering amount of moons I feel take away from the achievement of getting 3D Mario collectibles. The main campaign is very short, and some other minor things got in the way. I guess I was expecting a more Galaxy-esque experience rather than the 64-esque one that we actually got. Meanwhile, I kept seeing everyone online declaring it to be a masterpiece. Was I wrong? Am I the crazy one? I'm not crazy, you're crazy! So when I got home from my vacation, I took some time put my full focus in, and manage my expectations, and, well, yeah, it turns out I was the crazy one. I think you just have to come into this game with the right frame of reference and mind, and I don't think I did that the first time around, but I'm very glad I did the second because it's absolutely worthy of the acclaim it's getting. I still don't think it reaches the lofty heights of the first Galaxy game, but that game is near perfect, so yeah, that's kind of an impossible standard to hold it to. Now, I'm not going to go and repeat what everyone on the internet has already said. I'm sure you've seen all the reviews, or you've already played the game. In fact, if you're watching this, you've probably already played the game. Just go get more moons. There's plenty. There's a lot. It's like 900 something. Nuts. Just go. Do it. I'm gonna admit something that might be seen as blasphemous. I've never really been a big Zelda fan. The only one I ever finished was Twilight Princess, and that was only recently. The others I've played for a bit and then dropped after a few hours. I also don't really get into open world games, apart from Assassin's Creed, which, let's be real, has a more linear mission design anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it's an open world. Oftentimes, open worlds are just too big for their own good and lack a sense of focus. You're often just doing things for the sake of, well, doing them. Yet somehow, Nintendo managed to utterly hook me with Breath of the Wild. An open world Zelda game. How did this happen? Nintendo, what black magic are you using to make this game so fun? Now, a lot has been said about the game already, so I don't want to repeat most of that. I will say this though. Breath of the Wild's success lies mainly in its focus on one singular goal in every activity that you do. Defeat Ganon, save the princess. Which is why if you want to, you can go straight to Ganon right from the start, albeit with a gigantic handicap. But that's what makes the game so much fun. Every shrine you do, every Korok seed you collect, every weapon you pick up and use, every divine beast conquered, serves to make you stronger. They are all purposed for that singular goal. Everything is there for a reason and benefits the player, and that's what makes the experience so strong. Everything else about the game that I love has been said by pretty much everyone. The world is beautiful, the graphics are sublime, the characters are wonderful, and the gameplay and combat are polished to a T. And its Game of the Year award is fully deserved. More so than freaking goddamn PUBG. What? Minecraft did not get a Game of the Year award while it was in beta. It doesn't happen. Why was PUBG nominated for the best of the year? Before my number one, here are some quick honorable mentions and things that I haven't gotten to yet. Like I said, Persona 5 and Nier Automata are in my possession, but I have yet to play them. I've heard nothing but good things, but Persona 5 is a big game that will take a lot of time, and Nier I feel like I need to be in the right mindset to have my brain utterly but I will, very soon, I promise. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 I'm currently playing as I write this. Honestly, at first I didn't really like it at all that much. The controls were confusing, the UI is slow, the way it introduces its mechanics to new players is nonsensical, and the voice acting in the English dub ranges from mediocre at best to, well, that. However, after a while, I think it has grown on me, and I think I'm finally starting to get a grapple on the game's mechanics. Plus, I love the story and the characters, which is a lot of what is keeping me going. From what I've played this far, which is the first 3 chapters, it probably wouldn't have made the list anyway, but I just thought I'd mention it. Injustice 2 is a really fun fighting game with a ton to offer. I didn't get to play too much of it since I've been pretty busy with other games, but I really enjoyed what I played. I was never really into the classic Sonic games, but Sonic Mania was a really fun throwback game. I don't really have any nostalgia for the first 3 Sonic games, and yet I had a blast. Shows you what can happen when developers put their heart and soul into a franchise they love. Some other people could learn from that. ARMS and Splatoon 2 happened. Yeah, I got nothing for this one. Next. I really tried. Really tried. I tried to justify that this game shouldn't be here at this part of the list. I tried to go hardcore game critic on this and justify Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey being here because they're bigger, more polished, and broke ground for their long-running series. I tried to play other games that people have been talking about to see if it overrides my choice, but at the end of the day, it came down to this. What game this year put a smile on my face that never went away? What game left me with a sense of childlike wonder and fun that I haven't experienced in years? What game do I keep coming back to so much that motivated me to go back to doing videos again? Well, in that case, it would still go to A Hat in Time. did a full review of this game, so I'm at risk of repeating myself. But A Hat in Time to me was such a pure experience. Maybe it's because I don't play too many indie games usually, but there was something magical about just letting myself get immersed into this game without worrying about all these elements that bog down a lot of major release titles. It's so simple in its execution and so wonderful in its presentation that you're not really stopping to worry about game feel and objective qualities. I love the controls, I love the world, I love the characters, I love Hat Kid, I love the writing, I love everything about this game. Sure, there are plenty of bigger, more polished, and more technically balanced games out there that came out this year. But I don't know, it's really hard to explain why I love this game as much as I do, especially more than any others on this list. It's a game that I just keep coming back to and feel so much joy whenever I do. And the mods! Now, I'm not usually a stickler about what platform you play a game on, since it all depends on the person and what's convenient. But I feel the best way to play this game is definitely on PC, as it gives you access to mods on the Steam Workshop, and many of them are excellent, super innovative, super creative, and some other ones. Oh my god! Why? That is super anime-tastic, Desu. I think we should go to McDonald's. It's the best place to buy McAnime. Oh my god! To take full advantage of the game's assets and even creating some new ones. It's exactly what I need, since this game is generally pretty short, which is one of its flaws. However, if for whatever reason you can't, the recently released console ports on Xbox One and PS4 work and play just fine. I even bought it again on Xbox One just to be sure. I really hope these devs go on to do great things in the future. You can bet I'll be there when they do.